Hello, and welcome to The Update, the spinoff of Colorado Mesa University TV News. I'm Ashlyn Gerbaz. This week we will cover the Improv Club and learn what they get to do. We're going to learn about a new activity to try around campus and debunk another fake news story. I had the chance to meet up with the Improv Club here on campus after their Oddly Appropriate show on February 4th. I joined them during one of their practices and instantly knew they were the perfect group to start off the new segment, Club Corner. Club Corner is where I will cover a different club on campus each week. The members of Improv Club are eager to get their talents out there, and no joke, they clapped when I walked into their practice with my camera. That's definitely the warmest welcome I've ever gotten. Let's check out their practice and talk with some of the actors.
Hi, I'm Justin Wittenberg.
I'm Joey Laughlin.
And I'm Keith McKay.
And we're all co-directors for Oddly Appropriate, as well as we run and manage Improv Club.
Actually, improv was a thing that got me into the theater department because I asked some of the professors if they had an improv troupe because I did it in high school. And then I got plugged in here, met Joey, a couple other people, and changed my major.
I was already a theater major, but other than that, it's more or less the same story. There happened to be one in the theater department. It goes back pretty far. Students have been running it. It's always been student run. I'm not sure how far, but it's been around for a long time.
Yeah, I was brought in by my fellow classmates, and I was very blessed this year to run improv as a liaison because of my dedication to it. So, but I was brought in by one of my students, one of my friends.
Hi, welcome to Target.
Hey.
Man, ever since people started shopping online, this stuff is just...
I brought my own cart.
Anybody can come to the club and start going. And for Oddly Appropriate specifically, we have auditions at the start of every fall semester, and we just look for who does good in the auditions and who we see in Improv Club a lot, who's dedicated, and who's shown improvement.
Yeah.
Who's pretty.
All right.
Who did we cast that's pretty?
Me.
Oh, that's it.
Please let that be a smoke alarm.
Nope. Hey, George.
Hey!
We have a improv troupe called Oddly Appropriate, and we have a show coming up March 18th at 6:30.
7:30.
7:30?
We gotta be there at 6:30.
We gotta be there at 6:30. In the Point.
It's our St. Patrick's Day special.
It is.
So make sure you wear green.
And get drunk.
Or we will pinch you.
People who tell the truth get donuts. I just want you to know that.
And ice cream.
Improv Club meets every Tuesday and Thursday from 3:30 to 5, and also Wednesday nights from 6:30
to 8. 6:30 to 8. Yep.
I don't know if we even sell these. Why would you bring it back here?
A Civil War artillery gun?
No! This is almost the exact opposite of that.
Oh my god. I must have bought it by mistake.
How is this even yours? This thing's white.
Improv Club is a great time for if it's something that you've been wanting to work on improv. It's a time to learn. It's a time to grow. It's a time to laugh. Even for us who have done improv in the past before, we're still learning every day. Improv is the kind of thing that you don't learn once and you get it for the rest of your life. You continue to grow with it.
They're constantly improving, improving. Shoot.
Just a reminder, the club meets on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 3:30 to 5, and Wednesdays at 6 if you're interested in becoming a member. And let me just say, these improvers are the people you become friends with because they're really nice, really funny, and really awesome. It's starting to warm up, and students around Mesa have been claiming trees around campus to slackline on. Slacklining is a very popular hobby around college campuses across the nation. Despite similarities to slack rope and walking on and tightrope walking, slacklining does not use as much tension, so the rope is able to stretch while someone walks on it. Slacklining became very popular because it's easy to set up and all you need is 2 objects to tie it to. So next time you see someone on campus slacklining, go ahead and ask if you can try it out, because not only is it a good workout, but it's a lot of fun. Give the public a break. The fake news media is trying to say that the large-scale immigration in Sweden is working out just beautifully. Not. Before wishing the nation a happy President's Day, President Trump took to Twitter to defend comments he had made about Sweden during the rally in Florida. Trump had incorrectly suggested that Sweden had a widespread crime spike and terror attack because 32% of the country's population are migrants. Trump said at his rally a lot of stuff, and he never thought it possible to have these things happen. Trump later took to Twitter to clear up his earlier statements, saying his comments rooted from a story that Fox News ran about immigrants in Sweden. Like a lot of the things Trump and his administration have assumed, there's little truth to his words. Sweden has a very open-door policy on immigration, so it's an obvious choice for refugees fleeing unsafe countries. But the crime rate in Sweden has not gone up with refugees coming into the country. The crime rates for rape, murder, drugs, and other forms of violence actually went down in recent years, and there's not been a spike since. Thanks for tuning into the first installment of the update. We will have another episode in the coming week and the coming weeks to come. And we will also be starting some new social media pages for you guys to like and follow. So we'll see you around campus, and we'll see you next week, Mavs.
Today we are going to talk about some of the bills that we had this week, and then we're going to go over some other updates from Senate. So our first bill that we had was Bill 1623. It was for the Clay Club, and they were asking for $1,212.47 for a conference in Portland, Oregon, and they received that money. They'll be taking 8 students for that event. Our next bill was 1624. It was a bill to change the amendment abilities for senators on the floor so that senators can now amend bills that come from FAC. So what that means is that Senate will have the ability to change the amount and be able to do that on the floor instead of having to wait till conference committee until that's done. So it'll allow us to get a better consensus before moving to conference committee. And so we have to read that 2 more times in order for that to become an actual change in the bylaws. We also had a cycling bill that came on Monday to FAC. They were turned away due to some discrepancies with the money they're asking for hotels and flights. And so we actually found out that they already have enough funding for that event, so it sounds like they won't be coming back for us in regards to that trip. We also had a guest speaker this week from the Western Colorado AIDS Project, and she brought some examples of the things that they give out at their center in town, and they also went over some of the problems that STDs cause for students and some of the rates that we have in town here. And they also notified us of the free testing they have for students and anybody that comes into their building. We also had John Marshall visit us, the Vice President of Student Services. He came and talked about the Capitol Conference, which is an annual trip where students from CMU join several other members from around the state to attend a conference in Washington, D.C., and they get to go and hear from a lot of very high-end speakers. So those scholarships are given out every year to students. This year, ASG is going to be sponsoring 3 of those. And so those applications are closing soon, and you can find that application on the main website. He also talked about the blue lights on campus and what the future was for those. After talking with ASG in his office, most of the blue lights will be removed from campus due to the safety hazard they cause, where some do not operate correctly, and there's also not enough replacement parts to keep proper maintenance for the future. So we've been talking with his office about possibly finding another option for student safety on campus, but he wanted to assure us that none of them have been used for an actual emergency in the past. He also talked about a mental health grant that the school received this week. They received $250,000 for mental health on campus. This funding is going to go towards capital costs for a new refurbishment to some of the buildings that mental health resources use on campus at the moment. And so there'll be more of a lecture style room where they can have classes or also hold other meetings for like Prime for Life and things like that. They'll also be hiring some practitioners, so they'll be looking to hire a psychiatric nurse practitioner as well as some other specialists to help with students and be able to administer medications to students in the clinic across the street. Our nominations for MAV Awards have been created, and the link will be updated on the MAV Zone update next week. But that link is on OrgSync, so if you go to our OrgSync page, you can find the link to the MAV Awards there. CDB also came, or the Cultural Diversity Board also came to FAC this week to ask to pull $25,000 from reserves for their upcoming Unity Fest. This money will go towards all of the attractions and events that they'll have during that week, as well as some other speakers and things along those lines for that week. So Before we finish, so I've had several individuals actually approach me, some past alumni as well as a current senator approaching me about reasoning why the school hasn't released a statement on the newly released immigration policies that President Trump has released. And I've been talking with them and really thinking about why this school hasn't had a statement regarding those things. And after thinking about it, I've realized that a statement is just words, and I think that we can be really evaluated by the actions that we have as students on this campus. So I don't think we need a statement on this campus because I believe in the students on this campus, and I believe that we can create the proper action on this campus and respect each other in order to create an environment where we all are safe and an environment where we can all learn together and experience college as one. With that, I think I'll open the floor for questions. Any questions on anything?
So it seems that club sports is getting more money, more like funding towards them. So why is that, and how much is it?
Absolutely, great question. So beforehand, we have 4 budgets that we work with within ASG. We have RNCF, SCRIF, and these are all abbreviations, so it might be kind of confusing. But RNCF, SCRIF, Transportation, and Environmental. And so each of these budgets go towards a certain allocation that we are allowed to or a certain thing we're allowed to allocate for from each of these budgets. And so most commonly, club sports come for the RNCF budget, which is used for groups that qualify for events. So if club sports qualify for a regional event, then we normally allocate money from there. We've also allocated funds from the general fee, the SCRIF fee, as well as transportation several times. But overall, we have given out $64,628 this year to clubs and organizations, and $28,022 of that has gone to club sports. So if you look at the numbers, that results in about 43.3% of the funding that we've given this year has gone to club sports. So it does seem like a lot, and every time they come, normally it's a higher number than other groups when they ask for that. But overall, a majority of our funding has gone towards non-athletic clubs on campus. Good question. Other questions?
You talked a little bit about conference committees. Can you kind of just like describe what that actually is?
Yeah. So in the past, before this bill 1624 came to the floor, in order for the Senate to change the number on a bill, we have to convene a conference committee, which is essentially 2 members of FAC, which is the group that meets on Monday, which is essentially a preliminary group that decides the final amount, and 2 members from the Senate, and it's chaired by an individual of my choosing. And so these 5 individuals work together to come to an agreement on what the numbers should be for the final bill. And so with this new bill, it'll make it easier for the conference committee to have a direction, because those senators that are chosen for that committee will know what the Senate wants, so they'll be better able to represent them on the committee. Thank you. Any other questions?
What are some things that you're taking away the blue lights, what are some things that you're looking at making sure that students still feel safe on campus?
Absolutely. Great question. I think student safety is definitely a really important factor on campus. I personally have had a really good experience living on campus my past 3 years, where I've felt safe at all times. Some of the solutions that we've thought about that were brought to the floor this past week was something along the lines of LED lights, where students will know if there's an emergency on campus if those are on. The idea of something similar to a tornado siren has also been offered, and also better utilizing the CSAs we have on campus, as well as the CSOs, the campus safety officers. So I think the best route is to better utilize the personnel that we already have on campus, whether that's the CSAs, the students that we hire for the Safe Walk program, or the newly hired CSOs, which are police officers essentially hired by the school. So currently we have 2, and I believe they're planning on expanding those. But I definitely think that's the best option that we have, is utilizing the current personnel to create a better feeling of safeness on campus. So, thank you. Any other questions?
Besides allocating money to these different clubs, what other things are ASG doing? What other things are senators doing in order to create an environment here on campus?
Absolutely. So last week I talked about several of the committees that we've been working with. So we created 5 committees. One was for health and safety on campus, and so they're looking at the tobacco policy as well as women's health on campus. We're also looking at a school spirit, Maverick Spirit Committee, so that they can try and revamp the spirit that people have on campus and maybe have some more access for those students to be more proud to be a Maverick and spread that spirit on campus. And the other committees revolving around sexual assault. So we're looking for a better prevention solution to sexual assault so that students feel like they are safer in that regard when it comes to things like that. And we're also looking at housing retention. So keeping students in the housing for longer so they can better connect with the campus. And I think a large aspect of feeling safe on campus really comes down to the culture that we create as students on this campus. And so, like I was saying earlier, I really do believe in the students on this campus, and I think that it really is up to us. I'm not above anybody. I'm not above anybody on this campus. I think it really is up to us on this campus to work together to make it a place where everybody wants to be and wants to thrive. Thank you for the question. Any other questions? Alrighty, thank you guys. I want to thank CMU-TV for helping us put this on, as well as all the guests and press that joined us today for the press conference. We'll see you guys next Friday at 3. Thank you.